With all due honor and praise to the Most High, and worship thee through the divine image of my wives. Amen. Welcome to the Horseman Law Podcast. And I made it. We're late this evening. Running late, coming fresh off work. So have to excuse us. Excuse me to be precise. Yeah, it's been a minute since we've been on. And I want to salute, a lot of brothers out there who are still working, who are still on the clock. Salute y'all. Um, keep doing your thing. Keep handling your business. Keep representing. Repping that full, repping Horseman. Um, Congratulations, you made it another day. Um, let's get into some shit, man. Let's talk some shit. This is our moment. This is our happy hour. We get to talk shit, drink, smoke a little something. Tonight I'm drinking this cold bar whiskey, this gold bar whiskey I got for my birthday. Um, Smoking this Cohiba. So we're gonna salute. I want to salute everybody who had a birthday in the month of February, Black History Month. So they say, salute everybody. Um, I appreciate you. I appreciate all those who wished me a happy birthday this past month. And last month. I'm tripping. Last month, yeah. So everybody that wished me a happy birthday, thank you. I appreciate you. All those who gave me gifts and sent me a little something, I appreciate you. And, you know, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to make it again. I'm happy to get through another week. Solid. You know what I'm saying? No scratches on my character, no nicks in my armor. And salute. So let's get into some shit, man. Last night I was at the fight, Masvidal, Colby Covington. And I was rooting for Masvidal. I think all those who know me knew that. But like I told everybody, this is predictable. I mean, if you follow any one of these fighters, you know what their strong suits were. You know who was good at what and who was bad at what. So, Kobe, he's a good, decent striker. Doesn't have a lot of power, but his wrestling game is top notch, man. I mean, the brother's collegiate, top, you know, top of his class. I mean, this guy's a serious wrestler. So, it's no surprise that when they got into the fight, the first thing he went is for the takedowns and just put on a clinic, a wrestling clinic, a collegiate wrestling clinic on Masvidal on the ground. And you gotta train for that, man. You gotta train for that. And you gotta reach out to some of the greatest takedown defense um, people in the world. You gotta look at Chuck. You gotta look at Tito. You gotta look at some of these old school fighters where their takedown defense is next to none. So I wish he'd have focused. I wish Masvidal would have focused purely on takedown defense and wrestling during his training camp, but it appeared he was still working on his stand up and still working on his hand speed. And that ain't going to help you in those kind of fights, man. And it was surprising to me because he knows Covington. He's trained with him. They were fucking roommates not too long ago. So for him to kind of be almost looked at like a fish out of water being with this dude, it was surprising to me. So, but salute both of those brothers. You got to salute anybody that gets into the cage and fights. I salute both of them, and I wish them both well. It was entertaining to say the least, and some of the fights on the undercard, man, they did good. Cowboy got his ass whooped, and you know, not no disrespect, but that brother looked good, man. That brother he fought was good. It was his debut. Forgive me because I don't know his name. I don't remember his name, but he looked good. Excellent night of fights, man. Another salute to the UFC for another job well done. Pay your fighters. Yeah, let's do that though. Let's do that. And in other sports news, the Lakers are done, man. Toast. So, and you know how they're done. This is how you know the Lakers are done. When they start talking about something that ain't gonna happen till 2 years from now, they're done. Like they're already trying to celebrate the fact that LeBron is going to be playing with Bronny in the league, his son, 2 years from now. So they're done. He's already looking to 2 years from now. The press is already talking about 2 years from now, what it's going to look like when him and his son play together on any team, Cleveland, most likely. But let's just, chop it up. And let's kill all the comparisons to Jordan. I think that's a wrap. Let's do away with that. That's over with. Let's get rid of that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no comparison at this point. Match point break. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player who ever lived. That's just what it is. Whether you like him, don't like him, fuck with him, don't fuck with him, buy his shoes, don't buy his shoes. He's the greatest basketball player of all time, and nobody's catching him. Not in this generation, and not in any other generation previous. So let's salute to MJ. Michael Jordan, let's salute. And not to mention, I watched this documentary. All y'all should get a chance. When you get a chance, go watch this documentary on Netflix about Bubba Watson. He's a NASCAR driver, drives for Michael Jordan's team. I don't know if he still does, but it's an excellent documentary to watch. I've been interested in NASCAR since Tom Cruise in that fucking movie, Something Thunder. So I've been interested in NASCAR since then, and come to find out that movie that Tom Cruise played in, forget the name of the movie. He's playing a black dude. He's playing one of the first black men to race in the 400, whatever the fuck they call it, whatever that is, the Indy something 400, whatever the fuck the name is. He's one of the first black dudes to race in the Indy 500. Is it Indy 500? He's one of the black dudes that race in this car. They called him, fuck was his name? He's got another documentary on Netflix about him as well. Damn, I forget his name. If anybody remembers his name, man, text me his fucking name. I'll put it in the chat thing, whatever the fuck. But yeah, two brothers who drive NASCAR. NASCAR is crazy. Two brothers that do well in that sport. Salute them. Bubba Watson. I believe the other brother's name is Rusty or something. Shout out to both of y'all. Google that fact though. The movie, the Tom Cruise movie, the Tom Cruise NASCAR movie, the story of the guy that Tom Cruise is playing is the story of the black driver who was one of the first, if not the first, black driver in the Indy 500. Check that. Fact check that. So, let's get to another point, man. And a few brothers hit me on Horseman Fan about this. I posted something about the war. I posted something on the war. And I found it real funny, right? The timeline of events. If you pay attention to the media, if you pay attention to the propaganda and the bullshit, you see how quickly they transition. And my particular focus is on the transition. The transition of attention. is how fast they want you to transition from one urgency, one fear tactic to the next one. And my comparison was ISIS and the transition from ISIS to Trump and the transition from Trump to COVID. These are very subtle, obvious transitions in attention span that they want the public, their attention span to transition from one, emergency so-called to the other. And how quickly the people just fall along with the bullshit. Now, the fact is, if you pay attention to any type of geopolitics, Putin's been talking about doing this for a long time. This goes back to Obama. People seem to forget that during the Obama administration, Putin took Crimea, which is another, country, sovereign country, so they say. But he took Crimea. And, there was an uproar about Crimea. And the warmongers wanted Obama to go to war with Putin over Crimea. And common sense would dictate that you can't do that, right? Common sense would dictate that you can't involve yourselves in conflicts that go against your own country's best interests, right? Now, the only reason America would get involved in what's happening with Russia and what's happening over there with Putin is if it's in their best interest. Simple, point plain. So to try to make it seem like, well, this is wrong and morally, and we have a moral obligation to get involved in this situation in the Ukraine, it's just patently false, and it's it's dumb. It's dumb. It's literally dumb. And you have to call out the media. You have to call out all these political pundits, all these talking heads and what their talking points, and call them to task, man, because it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Now, I'm not going to say that the Ukrainian government is a offshoot of a Nazi, sympathizer type organization. I'm not going to say that, but I will say, do the research on it. Do the research on it. And this guy that they're propping up as some type of honorable hero, research his point of view on African people, on Africa, on other countries, the Middle East. Research what he said previously, what speeches he's given previously, the people he's been associated with previously, and then come back to the table and then ask yourself, is this man the moral representation of some type of hero that we should stand up for and protect over there against Putin? And I ain't saying that Putin's a good guy or whatever. Fuck them all. This is my point. Fuck them all. But the point is you're not going to tell me about somebody without me doing the proper research. You're not going to tell me about a war and tell me about this and that and who should fight and who shouldn't and we should do this and we should do that. Nah, man, research everything. Everything that comes across your TV, research it. Everything that comes across your airwaves, the radio, research it. Everything that they tell you to do, you should be researching and finding the truth about. And I just wish my people would do more of that, man. Question everything. Question everything. It's mighty interesting that Bill Gates comes out and says, well, not for nothing that Omicron is nature's vaccine. For that to come out of his mouth should tell you something. That should tell you something about who you're dealing with. Now, the fact that everybody's quiet, that everybody's all of a sudden quiet, should tell you something. The fact that all these shoe booty Negroes are quiet on Biden all of a sudden should tell you something. This man did a State of the Union address and didn't address shit at the address. Should tell you something about who you're dealing with, man. Politicians, so-called activists. I mean, the list goes on and on. These people are disgusting. And I mean that, man. And I mean that. In other news, though, we're up to 19 states with constitutional carry laws that go into effect next month. So clap that up. Salute that. We want that. Remember, black folks, we want that. We want these constitutional carry laws to hopefully go federal, and hopefully there be a federal constitutional carry law that goes into place. We want to support the Second Amendment. We want to fight for it, and we want to do whatever we can to keep it, especially during these times. So salute that. If you, I've said this time and time again on the show, if you do live in a constitutional carry state, go ahead and still get your permit, still get all the out-of-state permits that you can get your hands on, and do that just to protect yourself, in case the laws change, in case things change. You want to be grandfathered in, and you want to be able to carry a firearm legally without any type of problems. So do that. Pay attention to the gun laws. Check your local states' legislation. Do that often, because the legislation can change month to month. In some cases, week to week. Reciprocity can change like that. So just like that, you could lose reciprocity and gain it. So do your backgrounds, do your homework, especially if y'all in the business. Those of you who are carrying a firearm and working in the business, do your homework, man. Do your homework. Wherever you go to a state, wherever you move to another state, if you're moving through state on tour, do your homework to know which states you can bring a firearm, which states you can't. I'm going to give you guys a little tip. Show it you. Those of you on the road traveling, I'm going to give you a little tip. High capacity shotguns. Now, some states, if you're traveling on tour and you're going through certain states, some states still have assault weapons bans. There's several states that still have assault weapons bans. California is one of the most notorious states with assault weapons bans. New York City, of course, DC, Chicago. So you already know this. You already know the gun laws are crazy. Do not risk taking assault weapons, so-called assault weapons. And what I mean by that, I mean, your AR-15s, your AK-47s, high-capacity rounds, high-capacity weapons with high-capacity magazines. Don't risk traveling with those when you can get shotguns, high-capacity shotguns. You can get a bullpup. You can get, Kel-Tec. You can get any of those kind of weapons, and you'll be legally able to transport with those and to move with those. Don't get caught in the trick bag when trying to be popular and trendy with these firearms, man. These firearm trends will get you locked up, and they will not, and I repeat, they will not show any mercy for you working in the business. A lot of times the DAs and prosecutors get a kick out of beating up on bodyguards and bounty hunters. I'm just giving you a tip on that. They get a kick out of prosecuting us to the fullest extent of the law, and they go out their way to get us in every opportunity. So be careful. All of those who are preparing to tour this year, this summer, all of you who are prepared to go and hit the road, don't get caught up in trying to be trendy carrying Dracos and drums and, 100 rounds and this and that. I'm telling you, they will lock you up and they will send you to jail without pause. So think about that. You could be just a shotgun with good ammo is just as effective, if not more effective than any high capacity 7.62 223. I promise you. I promise you. A good shotgun, a well made pump, bull pump, Keltec, any of these brands, Mossbergs, any of these brands, a good one of those will probably do you better than having a 7.62 with a 80 round drum or some ridiculous amount of ammo, high capacity magazine. So just to try to keep y'all from going through a lot of the shit that we've seen and we've dealt with coming up in this business. And I want y'all to be protected. I want y'all to be knowledgeable. And we want to avoid the traps. And I want y'all to avoid the traps and not get caught up in the BS, man. Not get caught up in the bullshit. Protect yourselves. And you gotta be particularly careful about where you store these weapons and who has access to the weapons. Right? That's a whole nother conversation that, a lot of us have to start to ask ourselves about and ask our clients about and ask management about, those of you who have the, what's the way to put it? Those of you who are unfortunate enough to have to share space with individuals, you got to make sure those individuals aren't felons. You got to make sure those individuals don't have warrants. You got to make sure those individuals are legally able to be around you and your firearm. Can they get in your truck? Can they carry? Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if you are in some of these states, and a felon gets into your car with a firearm, or a man with a warrant gets into your car, or anybody with a warrant gets into your car with a firearm, everybody in that car is going to get a charge. At the very least, if you're a professional in this business, you're going to lose every license you got, and you're going to lose whatever insurance you may have. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. So it's in your best interest to make sure everybody around you, everybody who gets into a vehicle, everybody you travel with, share a room, share a truck, whatever the case may be, it's in your best interest. It's in your best interest to make sure everybody in there is legal enough to be around your firearm. And I'm going to say this again for those of you who really don't understand. I'm going to say it real clear. If you have a firearm and you have marijuana, one of those becomes illegal. Say that one more time so you understand. One of those becomes illegal. And the discretion is up to the officer. Right? So if the officer finds you armed with a weapon, loaded firearm, and you have marijuana in the vehicle, or you have marijuana on your possession, you're clearly been smoking it, or whatever the case may be. One of those becomes illegal, right? And if you get a big enough dickhead, he could try to charge you with both illegal firearm and um, drug possession. That's just what it is. That's the way they wrote the law. You got to understand the trick bag in the law, right? See, those of you who ran out and got these licenses for medical marijuana, all of you who remember getting those medical marijuana cards, there was a trick bag under that because you couldn't carry a firearm and be under the influence of marijuana. Those laws are still in the books. So even though they've made marijuana non-criminal, they've decriminalized it, there are still laws on the books that if you are clearly under the influence of marijuana, that firearm becomes illegal. And that's in all 50 states, man. So I'm just don't kill the messenger. I know motherfuckers like to smoke. I know y'all like getting high. I get it, but I'm just telling you, depending on the officers you come in contact with, it's up to their discretion whether or not they want to fuck with you, or whether or not they want to give you a pass, or whether or not they want to give you a rough time. So just keep that in mind, especially those of you who are on the job, right? Because I'm only responsible for people on the job. I don't care what the rest of these clowns do. If that's what they want to do, smoke 18 blunts and stick a pistol in their waist in their skinny jeans, that's on them. I'm talking about the people in this business, those of you in the brotherhood, those in the brotherhood of protection. Y'all got to be careful about what you're doing out there and how you're moving, because it's not about to get any easier. It's about to get worse. They're going to start putting things in place that is going to make it's going to make it very difficult for you to legally be able to carry. That's just giving you a heads up. And it's either way. They'll either make it very difficult for you to carry, or they'll make it difficult for you to get the proper license to carry. And that's what the Biden administration wants to do. They want to start going after ammunition. He wants to start going after magazines, and, send this shit back to the goddamn dark ages. You know what I'm saying? To where you got pitchforks and knives. That's what these people want to do, man. They want to keep it. They want to keep you from being able to defend yourself against any enforcement of their laws, any enforcement of their agenda. So protect yourselves, be careful, and do what you got to do, right? I'm gonna get out of here in a minute. I'm gonna go see Batman. See what that's all about, and hopefully it's entertaining. I'm not very optimistic, but fuck else. What else I'm gonna do? Seen all the other Batmans, might as well see this one, right? So, but I keep you guys informed next time I, come on the show. We'll talk about it, chop it up. Yeah. Those of you looking for Jay Kane, Killer Jay, he's on the job. He's working at the moment. Hopefully we'll have him next week, and we'll have him get on, talk some shit, shed some more knowledge and light on this industry and what it is we do. So, yeah, all those who joined, I appreciate you. We're going to get back into the swing of things. This is the busy time. This is our busy period. We'll have a little downtime coming in the next month and a half. We'll be able to really get into a swing of things, do more shows. We've got merch coming. We've got other opportunities coming. We've got tours coming. So we're going to get this ball rolling and start pushing along. So I'll close tonight, like I do every show, with all due honor and praise to the Most High. I worship thee through the divine image of my wives. Amen and good night.